because for the people who are high income groups, the funding is easy, but the people who are from low income groups, it's very difficult as they cannot show any collateral for that. Even though there are only few like for Annapurna scheme and for food catering business, the collateral is exempted, but so many other things, the collateral is compulsory. So that is the major problem. And the next one is marketing. Like all the women, they have good products and good services. The problem is to go to the customers and to make it's a public entity and to get the orders and to increase the sales. It's a major problem. And the next one is skilled labor. If we take lot of the good services, the skilled labor is a major problem because the continuity of the labor, because as these are starting enterprises, it's not easy for them to pay for the other people, and if they are not continuous, and it becomes a great problem for the entrepreneurs. And next one is transportation. Like whoever have their own vehicles, and it's very easy, but budding entrepreneurs, it's very difficult for them to move to different places. And moving to the next objective, that is what factors motivated to become women entrepreneurs. For poor people, one of the reason is to increase their standard of living, and for financially independent, to become financially independent. And the other one, that is because of their passion, and other major reason is the work experience. And the last one is to create job for others and to make improvement to this world. And coming to the government cooperation, there are so many good programs, but the awareness of programs is very less. Whoever spouses are in the good government jobs, they are making their wives or their relatives to go and apply for this. But this is not advertised just how the vaccination advertisement is given, like we have reached 100 crores. In that way, the information is not reaching to the women entrepreneurs. By this, I want to say a few findings. That is, in 2021 and 22, where the whole world got affected with the corona, and here are the highest women entrepreneurs registered, that is 604. And coming to urban and rural areas, rural areas have 51% compared to urban areas. And coming to the conclusion, it's very important to have mentorship for women. I mean, when from morning onwards, Krishna sir have discussed, we should have for every village there should be a village agriculture officer. In the same time, women are a great uncaptured potential which we have in all over the place, and who have lot of time, but they don't have the mentorship and the funding. So in this regard, if we have in all the villages one institute for guiding people and for guiding and giving mentorship for the women, at the same time providing them funding facilities, obviously this could solve the problem of unemployment. Thank you.
Thank you, Jansi. Such a wonderful presentation which highlights the role of women in entrepreneurship. By connecting it to unemployment, she introduced the concept of challenges and what motivates her to do this work, and finally what kind of support she, as a researcher, she is expecting from government. That is nothing but the awareness. And yeah, the data collected, that's a good data. 1,938 is a good sample where you categorized into 3 different categories. We all know that major problem for any kind of entrepreneur is funding, and for that collateral is very much necessary. That's a traditional problem which as Indian society we are facing. That's where government comes into the picture, where it should give the confidence, particularly to the women entrepreneurship, that we are here as a government. We are here. You please come here and conquer the world. So wonderful presentation, Jansi. So yes, ma'am. I know, ma'am. She is my classmate.
Deshmukh sir and Kumar and Usam sir. Good evening to all. My topic is economic performance and inclusive growth in India. Myself, Dr. G. Punyavati, I am lecturer in Political Science, Government Degree College, Birmingham. Exclusively growth means economically growth that create the employment opportunity and the help in the reducing the poverty. It is means having access to necessary services in health and education by the poor. It inclusive providing the quality of opportunities, empowerment people through education and skills development. It also ensures growth process that is economical, environmental friendly growth, aims for good governance and help in the creation of the great sustainable social society. As well, organized for economical, cooperative and development, inclusive growth in economic growth, that is the distributed by fairly across society and create the opportunity for all. Elements of the inclusive growth. Skill development, there are two major points in India. First point is India facing in the dual challenges in skill development. There is a purely highly workforceable, and second one, there is a non-employment concentrated youth. According to the economy survey 2070, overall 30% youth is working in India, that is not educated and employment or training. We gave the short and brief information, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. And
Thank you, ma'am, for the presentation. Now I invite B. Pradyusha for the presentation.
Convenience of the seminar, chairperson, rapporteur, and distinguished faculty, and research scholars who are present here, and the students. A very warm good evening to everyone. I would like to thank for getting this platform on the National Seminar India Transformed in 30 Years of Economic Reforms and Challenges. I am grateful to get this opportunity to present my paper here. My research topic is, my paper is Poverty Alleviation Strategies in Telangana for Deprived People, a study on Asra scheme. Next slide. Government of India, Government of Telangana has introduced several schemes for the upliftment of the poor people in for the strategy of poverty alleviation. In such scheme, one of these schemes is Asra pension scheme. The government of Telangana as a poverty alleviation strategy has prioritized social security programs for vulnerable sections of society to ensure that there are no deprived communities. In this context, Government of Telangana introduced Asra pension scheme as a safety net strategy for the welfare in the year 2014 November to safeguard several sections of the society. In the past, social security pensions which were provided were very meager and barely sufficient to cover the basic minimum requirements of the needy. But here, the scheme has been providing basic financial support in the form of pension to several categories like elderly, widows, AIDS patients, handloom workers, toddy tappers, differently abled, BD workers, fire patients, and recently added with the dialysis patients from 2022 October and single women. So since 2014-15, the government has covered an average of 39 lakh beneficiaries annually under the Asara pension scheme with a total disbursement of rupees 54,989 crore till January 2023 according to the Socio-Economic Outlook 2023. So, next slide. In Telangana, majority of older and socially deprived persons face financial hardship in old age, as most of them are not in a position to earn their livelihood. Their savings, if they have any, are not enough to meet their day-to-day, particularly the medical expenses. Many a times, their family members and relatives exploit them due to their vulnerability. So, in this scenario, I have planned to study whether the government-sponsored Asara scheme will make any significant change in meeting their basic day-to-day needs. So, coming to the scheme initiation, the Telangana government has taken a number of initiatives to aid in the development of residents and the upbringing of the underprivileged. The government of Telangana, as a part of poverty alleviation strategy, prioritized social security programs in that one such Asara pension scheme. In this context, it is the Asara pension scheme was introduced in the year 2014 for several categories. So, when coming to the beneficiaries of the scheme, so here mentioned by 2022, government used to give 9 category of pensions to old age, widow, disabled, weavers, toddy tappers, HIV patients, malaria patients, BD workers, single women. For each category, before the state formation, there were only 3 category of pensions: widow pensions, old age pensions, and disabled pensions. But later, government has extended these pension amount or pension facility for several categories, and also enhanced the pension amount from 200 rupees to 1000 rupees initially, and now it is 1000 rupees to 2016 for all categories except the disabled. Disabled now they are getting 3000 rupees 16. And coming to the district-wise pensions data, so here Nizamabad district has the largest number of beneficiaries in the state, Jagjivan, which is followed by, and then Hyderabad, which are closely 2.11 lakh and 2.0 lakh. Then the smallest number of beneficiaries are from Babu district. These are all newly formed districts in Telangana. The scheme was applicable to only the senior citizen, as I told you. Initially, senior citizens, widowed men, differently abled in the past. So, government has extended this to several categories now after the state formation. Among the beneficiary categories, the widow pension beneficiaries from nearly 38%, followed by 12.7 lakh are senior citizens, then 4.92 lakh are disabled persons, etc., etc. That is the percentage of different category of pensioners. And coming to the number of beneficiaries and disbursement amount from 2014 to 2021-22, this graph is indicating the disbursement of pension amount of each year. Coming to the literature review, there were many recent studies found on the Asara pension, but each research paper studied or emphasized on different objectives. Like here, Suresh T 2021, this paper emphasized mainly on the impact of Asara pension on socio-economic status of scheduled tribes, differently abled persons. This paper emphasized on awareness of the people regarding the Asara pension scheme implementation. Then coming to the Ananthalakshmi 2018, this paper focused on the mode of disbursement of pension amount, regularity of pension amount, and problems faced by the pensioners. And like that, there are several studies we can see in the literature review. And coming to the research gaps, very few studies focusing on poverty alleviation strategy in Telangana for deprived people, and no studies found on impact of Asara pension scheme as a poverty alleviation strategy, and no studies discussing about the sufficiency and ability of Asara pension scheme in meeting the basic requirements of the poor people in Telangana. Coming to my objectives, to study the impact of Asara pension scheme as a poverty alleviation strategy, and to know whether the Asara pension scheme is able to fulfill the basic requirements of the poor people or not. So I have framed a hypothesis based on my objectives. There is no impact of Asara pension scheme as a poverty alleviation strategy, which is emphasizing about the null hypothesis, and further alternative, there is an impact of Asara pension scheme as a poverty alleviation strategy, and Asara pension scheme is not able to fulfill the basic requirements of the poor people, and alternative, Asara pension scheme is able to fulfill the basic requirements of the poor people. And for coming to my methodology, I have my sources of my data are from secondary data from various sources, like offline and online sources. Coming to the primary data, I have collected primary data from a well-structured questionnaire derived from various past studies in social observations, objectives containing various study dimensions like impact of Asara pension scheme as a poverty alleviation strategy and ability of Asara pension scheme in meeting the basic requirements of the poor people. So here my study specifically about the newly formed Jagjivan district is taken as a sample unit for the study. In this regard, the opinion of 300 Asara scheme beneficiaries was captured. So here the data available for that. So coming to my findings. So, based on the survey, the income survey respondents data, according to the data revealed, 66% of people are earning 2,000 to 4,000 amount per month. 30% are earning 4,000 to 6,000, means very many of them are depending completely on the Asara pension scheme. So the question regarding sufficiency of pension amount, which revealed by the respondents, 84% said it's not at all sufficient and not meeting their monthly expenses, and 15% agreed that the amount is meeting their needs. And then, so coming to the conclusion, the present study is about the Jagjivan district of Telangana state. In this region, the condition of beneficiaries are Asara pension, elderly people, widows of different categories. These pensioners require greater inputs of economic security, adequate basic needs like food and nutrition, access to basic health care, and adequate living arrangements. The increasing longevity of life, these inputs would also be required for longer time for greater and ever-increasing population. So here, therefore, it becomes the obligation of the Telangana government to create more opportunities and other provisions for the marginalized sections of the society. Therefore, as a result, I can see that providing this pension program will improve the living conditions and also assisting to reduce poverty of the most vulnerable sections of Jagjivan district. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Yusuf, for a wonderful presentation which highlighted on the Asara pension, which is part of social security program. See, there is always a debate about the remedy culture. Whenever elections are approaching, different parties will be debating whether the social welfare program should be there or not. In fact, we can observe, if you observe from the morning onwards, one professor spoke about we should eradicate or we should get away with the social welfare programs, whereas another professor spoke that social welfare programs are very much necessary. Okay, whenever elections are coming, I think Pratyusha's results can be given to the people who are opposing the social welfare programs, because here the results clearly showed a significant improvement among the living standard of people who are getting the pensions. And another point, the previous panel discussion, people were discussing about the right to Bandhu concept, other side pension concept as well. Okay, it's all about the government priorities, and so both she has collected both secondary data as well as primary data, and from the results it is found that significant change is there among people's living standard. in this regard, I also support that, welfare program should be there, but what kind of spending we are doing, it is very much necessary, because if we are spending today, tomorrow we can get the skillful people. Or let's say, if you are spending on poor people also, you need people to work, right? And for that, certain nutritional requirements are necessary, and those nutritional requirements only will happen when they have certain standard of living. Okay, so in this regard, I appreciate Pratyusa for your wonderful presentation. Okay, so now I would like to call Dr. Swami tomorrow. Okay, so he will be saying, I understand, sir, morning onwards you are so busy or tired. I think it's better, because the people will be eagerly waiting a top-notch research from you. Tomorrow it is better come fresh and present tomorrow morning. So, yeah. Now I would request Dr. J. Malaya for presenting his presentation. The topic is relationship between energy consumption and economic growth and empirical investigation. I think this is an extension of Dr. Vinita Pandey's presentation, where she highlighted about the energy requirement also. I think this is an empirical investigation, mostly from economic perspective, I guess. So,
good evening, Manada. This is joint paper. Myself, Dr. Malaya and Dr. Ratnakumari Madam, Head of Department of Economics. Particularly, we are focusing the relationship between energy consumption and economic growth. Here we have taken the data for the period of 1980 to 2018. We collected the data from the WTI, World Development Indicators, where we can get plenty of observations data all over the countries. So here we have used some econometrics methods like descriptive statistics, correlation, unit load, co-integration test, and FMLS method, fully modified method. So we divided into two parts. First one is what are the determinants of CO2 emission. When we consider it, there are NRE, non-renewable energy, consumption, and the population, and the urbanization. These are the main reasons for increasing the CO2 emissions. As we know that from the fossil fuel we are getting CO2 emission. Due to increasing the population, there is a deforestation. Due to that, again, it leads to increase the CO2 emission. Urbanization, if like developing countries, if there is a development process in these countries, that leads to increase the CO2 emissions. So these are the factors that are influencing the CO2 emissions. On the other side, that equation. So here, what are the factors again influencing the GDP? Here, our dependent variable is GDP, and the remaining variables like non-renewable energy source, renewable energy, and foreign direct investment. We have considered only 4 variables in this model. There are other factors also there. We call it as traditional factors, capital and labor, but we could not include in this model. So here, So this is a correlation to find out the relationship among the variables. If we observe non-renewable energy consumption and renewable energy consumption and foreign direct investment are positively highly correlated with respect to the GDP. Here this is a unit load test. Generally, when we are focusing the time series data, particularly using econometrics models, it is a compulsory to test whether the data is stationary or not. So that we used unit load test, particularly ADF, augmented equivalent test and filling independent test, both tests. When we observe the values at levels, all the variables are non-stationary. When we convert this to the first difference, all the variables are stationary and first difference. So we can go for the co-integration test, so that we have applied Johnson co-integration test. If we observe the none, that star indicates that the null hypothesis. From this null hypothesis values, place values, and when we observe critical value, when we observe place value is greater than the critical value. When the place value is greater than the critical value, we cannot reject. But it is null hypothesis. After at most one, when we observe the place value and the critical value, we have to reject the null hypothesis and accept that, meaning that there is a Lagrange co-integration among the variables which we consider for our model. So here, rank test and unrestricted maximum eigenvalue test. When we observe the same at none, that is indicating null hypothesis we are not rejecting, but at most one we are rejecting the null hypothesis and accepting the alternative hypothesis, meaning that in the Lagrange, particularly this Johnson co-integration test is using for whether the variables are having Lagrange relationship or not. So we can conclude that there is a Lagrange relationship among the variables. This is a fully modified ordinary least square method. We can find out the elasticities from this method. See, when we observe non-renewable energy is influencing GDP, highly correlated, highly impacting renewable energy also, and foreign direct investment is positively impacting on the economic growth. Here, what I am going to conclude is that non-renewable source we are using more and more, particularly India, we depending on the non-renewable source. It is fine, it is positively impacting on the economic growth, that is increasing. But what happens, it is adversely affecting the environment. So it is better to, particularly the policy makers, it may be in the government. So they have to take initiatives and invest more on renewable sources like conventional energy, so that we can protect our environment. Thank you for the time.
Thank you, sir, for a wonderful presentation where he highlights about the energy consumption and economic growth, which is mostly an econometric analysis by using the descriptive statistics, thereby correlation and truth test. I'm very happy with the results, sir, but regarding the FDA part, the P values are little bit high. I mean, it is positively impacting, I do agree, but the P value in the last before slide, maybe either it's a typo error or maybe I think it's a typo error, because in the conclusion you are saying it's a positively affecting. Yeah, so, but the P value is close to 1 there. So, I think some typo error will be there. Please check it with them. Otherwise, it's a wonderful, too technical for me as well. So, yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you for your presentation. So, thank you all. Everyone presented very well. Diverse topics from women entrepreneurship to importance of education. I'm very much impressed with that girl presentation at that young age, having an holistic understanding about the education system of our country. Okay, and the importance of social welfare programs, and this is an economic conference, and we need to use the tools in order to be in advanced market. And rightly, Dr. Malaya used advanced econometric methods to analyze the economic growth and economic energy consumption, and then boys, Praveen and Azai, regional disparities. So at BA first year level, I was amazed to see that kind of topics. So in this regard, I congratulate all the presentations, but I also appreciate all the teachers who guided them. You know, at the young age, presenting like that is totally appreciable. So in this regard, I conclude it, and once again, I congratulate all for a wonderful presentation. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, sir, for chairing this very important session. And this hour of the day is indeed a challenging task. On behalf of Department of Economics, Telangana Mahila Viswavidyalayam, as well BTR Degree College, we express cordial thanks to Honorable Chairperson and both our rapporteurs also. And as a small token of gratitude, may I request our conveners of this seminar to do the felicitation. I request Kalpana Madam to kindly coordinate. So apart from thanking our Honorable Chairperson and rapporteurs, we also thank all the paper presenters and most importantly the audience for staying back and having such kind of patience. Chairperson being felicitated. I also request felicitations to our rapporteurs, Deshmukh sir and Kavita ma'am. So the seminar man, Viswavidyalayam sir, felicitating the rapporteur, Deshmukh sir. I think one day there will be a biopic on your life, sir. Ratna ma'am felicitating Kavita ma'am, the rapporteur for today's lecture. So once again, thanks a lot to each one of you, all the teaching staff and non-teaching staff, the audience. And we gather again tomorrow for the second day of the seminar at 10 a.m. And special appreciation to our Nizam College friends. Very nostalgic because I have lived there for 20 years. It was very good to see youngsters coming up like this. So thanks a lot. And I hope all of us again see each other tomorrow at 10 a.m. in the PG Seminar Hall. Thanks a lot. Have a great evening.
Thank you.